name is Grace Moyd, and I'm the Executive Director of Thrive Global Project. Thrive Global Project is a nonprofit 501c3 that provides educational resources to students across the globe. We are so excited to have you here, and we are thinking that you probably are here because you have received our Thrive backpack and want to learn deeper into our expert-led workshops. And we're so glad you're here. Now, this workshop is specifically for teachers and parents to go deeper into the Fundanoodle workbooks that were provided within your Thrive backpack. So we are so excited for you to learn from our expert-led workshop leader, Amy Kate Wilkins. Amy Kate Wilkins is a principal based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we are so excited to have her dive deeper into the Fundanoodle resource workbook. We hope that you utilize this workbook off screen, and it allows for deeper parent-child interaction, as well as for teachers to utilize while they're working with students so they can be offline doing and learning more within the Thrive resource backpack. Now, we are so excited for you to hear from Amy Kate, and thank you again for joining the Thrive Global Project expert-led workshops. We are so excited that you're here.
Hey scholars, today we're going to dive into 6 skills to help you best access your Fundanoodle Math Development Program notebook. You guys received this in your backpack, and before you toss it to the side, I want to highlight the things that are going to make this an incredibly useful tool for both you and your scholar at home. Like I said, we have 6 tips today to make sure that this book works best for you and your student. Let's first, though, point out some key features because you did just receive this in your notebook. This is the I Can Do Math Level 1 book, recommended for pre-K, specifically 3 years and older. I do want to state a caveat here, though. If your student is older than that, but these are the skills that they're working on, it is absolutely okay. It is never too late to learn the basics and to really become skilled at numbers and counting and identification. And so if that is the level that you're at, regardless of age, please start with this book. The book, as you can see from the beginning, is incredibly visual, providing colorful pictures to help your student engage with the numbers that are inside. Inside, though, there's a lot of opportunity for your student to provide the color. So something helpful to have as you're working through this notebook is a pencil and a pen, of course, to do the work, but also a set of crayons or colored pencils or markers to make sure that your student makes the inside of the book as colorful as the cover is. Let's jump into the 6 tips that are going to make this a really handy tool in your house as you're learning. The first is to make sure that when you're doing activities with your student, especially because they might be younger in age, you want to verbalize the activities and the instructions. For example, this page is about the number 0. If I'm looking at this first sentence, I want to read the sentence for my student. I want to verbalize the instructions. There are 0 bees in the hive. Turn the 0 into a bee. By verbalizing the instructions, you're removing the barrier of reading and really making this math practice. The next is to assess along the way. We want to make sure that our students are not pushing forward if they don't understand the skill on the page. So for example, on this next page, we review the number 1. If your student is really struggling to identify this as number 1, to count to 1, then to make sure to stay on this page and come up with other activities to assess your student. Don't push to the next number. It'll lead to frustration. Make sure they get adequate practice, and if it's an area of focus, spend some time focusing on it. The next is to make sure at the bottom of every page you see there's an opportunity to reward your student. This states here at the bottom, when you're done, have some sticker fun. That takes me to one of the key features of this book. In the back, there are sticker pages. Fundanoodle has made it an activity again of matching. On the bottom of each page, it has a specific picture. So your student's going to spend time looking for that picture on the stickers and then reward themselves by putting it on that page, signifying that they've completed the activity, they've mastered that skill, and they're ready to move on to the next page. The next thing I want to highlight is that the activities do have mixed skills. Sometimes it's important that you isolate a skill for your student to really show mastery. For example, this page says count the objects in each set. Count, that's one skill that your student needs to be able to know. They need to be able to identify numbers and then also count the objects. And then it says circle the set that has the most objects. So they're also having to differentiate between the least and the most. It's important for us as the teachers or the parents or the guardians in the space to make sure that if the combination of activities is too much, to break it down. If your student is just practicing on counting, then spend some time counting. If they're able to put all these skills together because they have picked them up along the way throughout the notebook, then go for it. I just think it's important to mention that pages do use more than one skill. There's a combination of them. So we have to kind of decipher what's going to be best for our students. The next is that these are incredibly visual activities. So tip number 4 was mixed skills, and tip number 5 is to make sure that you note the visualization in each category. There are several pages that ask the student to color or to draw. This one asks to color yellow. In drawing and coloring, we're really letting our students who are more visual learners really interact with the numbers in the activity book. And so if it's asking to visualize, you can both do that in the notebook, but also take it outside or take it around your house for additional practices as well. If on here it's asking you to identify triangles, which this page is, then look around your house for examples of triangles. For our visual learners, that's going to be an incredible activity. Also for our kinesthetic learners, that's going to be a really great activity. If it's asking them to find triangles in the book and then they have to put their hands on a triangle in the house, something that's in that same shape, then they're associating what they're learning with their surroundings. And that is such a key feature in this notebook, the ability to interact with things in different ways and to help our learners with a lot of different modalities. Finally, let's beef up the real life application. Like I just stated, your student has an opportunity to both interact with this notebook, but also to interact in your home, in your backyard, at the park, to see these numbers and these shapes really living in the environment that they're surrounded in. I also think right now when your student might not be in a school building as much as they typically are, the ability to use your home or the space outside of your home as an environment for learning is going to be so key. So use these as real world applicable skills, right? Count things that are outside, go identify shapes, color things or identify the color of things. All of the mixed skills in this math book are, yes, contained in this book, but can also be found outside in the real world. Those are 6 tips to really make sure that this book is a valuable skill for your student.
How amazing were those workshops? Thank you all for tuning in. We are so excited that you're here, and we are rooting you on as you dive deeper into your education, as well as the resources that are provided to you by the Thrive Backpack. Now, if you are looking for more ways to stay connected, continue to check in on our website at www.thriveglobalproject.org. Also, if you have a minute, we would be so incredibly thankful if you could take the survey below so we can get amazing feedback as we continue to fine-tune the resources in our backpacks as well as these expert-led workshops. Thank you so much.